Hello. Upper Mill, the first building in Richard Arkwright's pioneering cotton spinning complex at Cromford in the Derbyshire Dales, was completed in 1771. Arkwright's choice of Cromford, at the time a very small and scattered rural community, is something of a puzzle given the workforce required to operate his mill. Textile mill machinery required lots of nimble fingers, and Arkwright sought to recruit women and children in the main. To attract employees, ideally with large families, to Cromford, 2 terraces of 3-storey houses were built between 1771 and 1777 in a cul-de-sac off Cromford Hill called North Street, after Lord North, the Whig Prime Minister. The houses are coursed gritstone rubble with mullioned windows, heavy stone lintels and tiled roofs. This was the earliest planned industrial housing anywhere in the world, and by the late 18th century housing standards, high quality, superior to most of the industrial housing that followed in the early part of the 19th century. Rents were reasonable and the houses were kept in good repair. When built, there was 1 room on each floor, a living room with a bedroom above, and an attic floor lit by large windows that extended to the moulded stone eaves. These open plan lofts, stretching along the row, were designed as workshop space, where men could be employed as framework knitters while their wives and children laboured at the mill. One of Richard Arkwright's advertisements read as follows: "Good calico weavers may be employed, and if they have large families, may be accommodated with houses and have good employment for their children." Each house had a small garden and an allotment available nearby. Loans were also available to help families buy a cow. An initial water supply was channeled to a trough at the end of the street from Longhead Sough, the first of many tunnels driven to divert water from the area's many lead mines. Over time, further workers' houses were built at Cromford, along with a watermill to grind corn for flour, and St Mary's Church, which was completed in 1797. The striking wall paintings were added by Alfred Octavius Hemming, better known as a stained glass designer, in 1898. The imposing Greyhound Inn, later hotel, was built in 1778, 3 stories and 5 bays, with a pedimented central bay and a Roman Doric door case with a fanlight. A market charter was obtained in 1790 and a market inaugurated in the open space outside the hotel, providing a focus for the growing village and ensuring fresh food supplies for Arkwright's employees. Richard Arkwright Jr. added a school at the end of North Street in 1832, with houses alongside for a schoolmaster and a schoolmistress. The properties in North Street were sold in 1924, and in 1964 they were purchased by Matlock Urban District Council, who had plans to demolish. After Derbyshire County Council refused permission, 6 of the properties were bought by the Ancient Monument Society, who offered them to the Landmark Trust in 1974. Since then, the Trust has taken responsibility for more houses and now own most of one side of the street. All the Landmark Trust houses have been re-roofed and modernised, keeping as much of the original interior character as possible. The Landmark Trust has also restored a terrace of framework knitters' cottages in St Mary's Lane, Tewkesbury. These were built in the 18th century in brick with tiled roofs. In common with the houses in North Street, Cromford, they are 3-storey, including an attic, but here the weaving took place on the 1st floor behind those wide casement windows. Stocking making was the main business in 18th century Tewkesbury, a cottage industry involving the whole family. Wife and children preparing wool by carding and spinning, ready for the husband to weave. It was the mass production processes introduced at Cromford that spelled the end of this way of life. Domestic weavers in Tewkesbury were unable to compete with hosiery makers in the East Midlands supplied with cotton from Arkwright's mill. And next time I'll be looking at Huguenot silk weavers and exploring the architecture of early Georgian Spitalfields. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons and click on the notification bell to be informed when the next video is available, or you can subscribe by clicking on the rose window over my shoulder.